Well, hello everybody. Welcome back to The Longing. It's day 295. And, you already know what I'm going to talk about today. It's, of course, Tuesday the 14th of September. Today is the day the Deathloop released. It got unlocked at midnight last night, so I did play some last night. And I've got bad news. Finally, after six... about 6.5... No, about six and a little bit years of hard use, of great work, my computer can no longer keep up with the latest video games. I know it's tough. I know it's sad, but it can't. It doesn't run Deathloop particularly amazingly. It does run it, which usually if you don't have enough GPU, RAM, or whatever, then it just doesn't open or doesn't even bother to start. Deathloop does run, and it can run at 60 FPS inside in small rooms. That is on very ultra low settings, but even if I put it on very low settings, then it's still 1.5 gigabytes more RAM than my GPU has, which isn't great. I need to get a new computer, I guess, or a new graphics card, but I think that pre-built is probably more cheaper. It's probably going to be cheaper. From what I've heard, in my experience, then pre-built is cheaper because of how ridiculous the GPU market is at the moment. So, I don't know, maybe I'll look up stuff and see if I can get some money together and buy a new one, because I really want to play Deathloop. I have played it for 3 hours. It's an incredible game. I think it's probably Arcane at its best. It has all the best things about Dishonored and Prey, and it has none of the bad things about Dishonored or Prey, which is great. It's seriously amazing. It's so much fun. There's so much depth to it, and there's so much depth that I haven't explored yet. I'm having a lot of fun. I'll play some more tonight. I mean, it's not completely unplayable on my system. I've got a 970, and I think the minimum specs were something like a 1060 or something, maybe a little bit more than that. But those were also the minimum specs of Doom Eternal, and Doom Eternal runs a crisp 60 the whole way through whatever the hell's happening. That game is crazy optimized. I do think Deathloop is lacking in optimization. That is a problem. It was a problem when Dishonored 2 came out. The PC port of it wasn't very optimized. It wasn't perfect. I think maybe with a few patches, then Deathloop might work fine. I don't think I had any problems with Dishonored 2. I did get it launch day. I pre-ordered it. I got the collector's edition. I've got the mask over on my bedside table over there, and I have the steelbook somewhere. I can't remember where. Oh yeah, it's up there on my shelf. I don't remember the Dishonored 2 running terribly on my computer. I did have my computer for only a year when that came out, so it was, it was still in, it was my computer was still mid-tier for that time. But yeah, I could maybe get just a GPU. I'm really not a hardware expert. I know almost nothing about hardware and installing stuff and finding out what works with what. What I do know is that there's multiple spaces for GPUs in my big box. That's what I call it, my big box. You can tell I don't know much. I know that your one's motherboard has to have a space for it. I didn't know that. I thought you could just plug it in and whatever. Your motherboard has to have a space for a GPU or anything. When I was putting in my new hard drives, then there kind of wasn't space for a certain type of hard drive, I think. And so you have to have the right connector, I think. So if I could go out and buy a 3080, which I think is the highest tier of GPU that we have at the moment. I could go out and buy that, but if it doesn't plug into my motherboard, if my motherboard can't handle it, if my CPU can't handle it, I don't know if the CPU comes into play. I've absolutely no idea. Is the CPU the motherboard? I don't know. I don't know anything about hardware. I'm going to get messages about this later. But my choices are either do some research into what motherboard I have and see if I can see what GPUs, what graphics cards I can support. And then what I can do, I can either plug it in tandem with the 970 I have, or you just replace it if there's not enough room, or I can just go out and buy a whole new computer, like from scratch, pre-built, which I think is... I don't know which one I'd prefer more. I don't know which one I'd go for. Because on the one hand, the GPU, buying it on its own, I wouldn't have to like take out the hard drives, I wouldn't have to worry about losing any information, I wouldn't have to wait forever for like Windows to set up. But it would probably be more expensive, and I might not even be able to get it because of the motherboard and whatever. And then if I get a pre-built computer, it's probably going to be cheaper. It'll be easier to set up, like, from a technical standpoint. I'm pretty sure you just plug it in and go. But then I would have to wait all day for it to set up, and I'd have to transfer. I have 3 hard drives I'd have to transfer over somehow. Well, you just unscrew them and screw them in, wouldn't you? But yeah, it might be cheaper. I did some research last night. I found an Alienware PC for £1,500, which is about $2,000 maybe, just a bit under $2,000, which is a lot of money. That is a lot of money. I think the computer I got for Christmas in 2015, I think it was probably maybe £700. The market really has changed since then. And I looked up how long a gaming PC should last for. I was like, how long do people usually keep them before they get a new one? It said 4 to 5 years. So I'm really stretching that out. It did say, though, that I've literally just looked at the first result, but it said that usually people keep them for 7 to 9 years, and I'm on year 6 with this thing. It'll be year 6 at Christmas. So I don't know. It's a conundrum. I mean, at the moment I don't have any money, so I don't have any disposable income, so I can't really do that anyway. But maybe soon. I don't know. I say soon. It's not going to be soon. It'll be in a year's time, I guess. Maybe when I get a proper job, not just like a job down at a pizza place. But Deathloop is a really incredible game. I'm having a lot of fun with it, even if it can't run perfectly. I have seen a lot of people with more powerful systems saying that it's a bit jittery sometimes, but I can't attest to that because my computer doesn't even reach the minimum requirements. So what are you gonna do? Has anything else happened today? No. So thank you for watching. It's been a pleasure. As always, I hope you've all had a really good day, and I'll see you tomorrow. And what I didn't say is yesterday, the audio was a bit wonky. It was only coming out of one ear. That's fixed now. Don't worry about it. Thanks for watching. See you tomorrow. This video is fine, though.